Resilient and tough people. You heard the governor say it. I can remember 16 years ago being a reporter in Monroe, Louisiana, in Northeast Louisiana. So it was so interesting to me that they were putting people on buses and taking them to Monroe, because as a reporter at that time, we were preparing to receive an influx of people from Katrina, and we were staging in Monroe. And I remember very clearly that Sunday, my parents had not left yet. Normally, Monroe is a 5-hour drive. It took them 18 hours to get to Monroe, and they stayed with me for 6 weeks in my one-bedroom apartment, my parents, because you just, nobody, knew the magnitude of what it would be. So we certainly get the anxiety that people are feeling.
Yeah, I didn't see those life-changing changes and effects until after the storm. So certainly an emotional time for many of us here in Southeast Louisiana. Fletcher Mackle is going to join us now from the 9th Ward with the latest on, the conditions out there. You've been driving around for us, Fletcher, today, and also showing us what the roadways look like as well. So what is it like out there right now in the 9th Ward?
Well, the reason why we are here in the 9th Ward is because what you all were just talking about and what the governor was talking about, because tomorrow is the 16th anniversary of Hurricane Katrina. I heard Gina talk about working as a reporter in Monroe. Next week will be my 19th anniversary as a sportscaster at WDSU, but because of what we cover during hurricane season, I always cover storms. And I think there are 4 moments where storms just felt different. This storm feels different. Isaac felt different in 12. Gustav felt different in 08. And certainly what happened to everybody and changed our lives forever in 2005 felt different. So they say time heals all. It does, but it still hasn't been enough time to know what happened where I'm standing right now. We are at the flood wall here. You can see that is the marker, the Industrial Canal flood wall. When this flood wall broke, and hundreds, if not thousands of people were affected. It was something I can truly say I have never seen before. You never thought you'd see a neighborhood in an area affected by what Hurricane Katrina did to the lower 9th Ward. I remember coming in here with WDSU reporter Heath Allen a day after and thinking this possibly cannot be real, what this area looks like. So as the governor said, I think that is important for people to remember, because I think that the mental anxiety for all of us that went through that, for the residents that are watching right now, like Gina said, it's an uneasiness because people left 16 years ago and their lives were changed forever when they came back. But I do think it is important to realize that what Governor John Bel Edwards said is true. Levee protection is better. Flood walls are better. Our systems are better. The cities are ready now. Nothing should ever and probably will ever happen like Katrina again, because so many lessons were learned. And if there is hope in what is about to happen, it's that Gustav delivered a tremendous punch to New Orleans. I remember former Mayor Ray Nagin ordering a mandatory evacuation in the city of New Orleans, the first mandatory evacuation in the city's history. And that was 3 years after Hurricane Katrina, and the city did well during Gustav. The city did well during Isaac, and the city has done well since. So what Governor John Bel Edwards said in the interview that you all played moments ago is very, very true. Systems, policies, procedures are much better, but nonetheless, people have been taking precautions. And again, for only the 4th time in my 19 years at WDSU, this one feels different. It feels like Isaac, Gustav, and Katrina, but it seems like people have prepared. I was in Lafitte yesterday. People said they hadn't left since Katrina and Gustav. They left. We were just on the roadway showing you the traffic going east towards Mississippi. People have gotten out, and the ones that are staying are ready to shelter at home with water and bread. So hopefully whatever Ida delivers, the cities, the municipalities, all of our areas are better because of what we learned 16 years ago, and the people understand more how to handle this. And hopefully by the time Monday rolls around, we will be getting power back on and taking a big step forward in the right direction.
You know what, Fletcher, you spoke very powerfully, and I think you give everyone hope. I look at our levee protection system as a risk reduction system. I know it can be overtopped with the correct hurricane. So when you look at this one, Hurricane Ida, it is not as strong as Katrina. Katrina got up to 175 miles per hour and then, granted, dropped down to 125 when it made landfall at Buras. Now this one is forecast to get up to 130 miles per hour, which is kind of close to where Katrina was, but maybe not as large. You were talking about storm surge. Let me just give them to you, and we've got this up on the web. I think this report, the storm surge from Plaquemines to New Orleans East for Katrina, 15 to 19 feet. All right, think about it. Along the coast, it's forecast to be 10 to 15 feet. The south shore of the lake, this is incredible, 10 to 14 feet. The west portion of the lake was 5 to 10 feet, and Slidell to Mandeville, 12 to 16 feet. And of course, that's not even talking about the 28-foot storm surge along the Mississippi Gulf Coast. So I think that this is very much a different hurricane, but also the big difference, let me just pop this up. First, we've got to look at the two side by side. I have Katrina up, and this is interesting, from August 28th. That was the day before landfall. Today, August 28th. I know, I get verklempt. The day before landfall. So they are different looking storms. Katrina was much better organized, but still, Ida has time to get its act together. So, you know, we're going to have to watch it carefully. Katrina went more to the east. It made landfall at Buras and went up towards Slidell, Pearl River kind of area. This one forecast to go over to Port Fourchon. So because it's going more to the west, we actually are at greater risk for storm surge over much of southeast Louisiana. Remember, Katrina did not impact really over towards Laplace, you know, St. John the Baptist. It was not as bad there. And that's because Katrina went more to the east, but then Isaac caused all kinds of problems because it went more to the west. So what I would tell you, Fletch, every hurricane is different. Every hurricane is different. And what happened in one hurricane, you cannot judge what's going to happen tomorrow by what happened with Katrina. And you and I were both here. Your brother was here. Man, what a time that was. And you're right. I hope, I pray that we will never see anything like that again.
Yeah, I agree with you, Margaret. And I certainly, I don't think we ever will. I think that was, in my heart of hearts, I truly believe that was a horrible life experience for so many, and all the lessons learned. We are all better, from the federal, the state, the local level. I mean, in Terrebonne Parish, where my brother is right now, they have a tremendous system as far as levee protection and flood walls that have been built because of what they learned during Hurricane Katrina. But I think what's great about what you do, 42 years at WDSU, and Travers and I, having been there for almost 20 years, is you can at least give some type of historical context to what it was like, what we dealt with, and how it made you feel and how it affected you. I know from a scientific standpoint, which I think is fantastic, and you can explain the differences of them, but I think the lessons learned each time is the important thing, and how we get better to make sure that things like Katrina never happen again. We haven't experienced it since, and in my heart of hearts, again, I don't think we ever will again. That doesn't mean we're in the clear, but I think it means that everybody knows now the seriousness that comes with a storm like this. It still makes me emotional being where I am right now, one day away from Katrina, standing here in the lower Ninth Ward talking about a Category 4 storm coming in again. But I think giving it some context and understanding what we learned and where we have gone since then is certainly important. And I always tell you that is one of the reasons why you are so important to what we do.
Thank you so much. So, Fletcher, what I would tell you, there is worse than Katrina. There is worse, and we have seen it. We look at Laura, landfall 150 miles per hour, and wait, do you remember Harvey with all of that flooding rain? I mean, we have seen incredible hurricanes lately. Here's Michael over at Panama City. It is amazing what has taken place in the past 10 years, 5 years even. We have had strong, catastrophic, devastating hurricanes, and you know, it's scary. And then you look at Zeta. Zeta was a Cat 3 when it made landfall, winds of 115 miles per hour. That eye went right over the metro. One of my favorite stories is the one your brother told about being caught outside when the back end of it came, and that was pretty scary for him. So wait, there it is. Landfall taking place early Sunday, possibly close to Port Fourchon, Terrebonne Bay, Cocodrie area. What a time, right, Gina and Sulla?
Absolutely.
Sure.
You know, I was listening to you talk, like, certainly scientifically there have been bigger storms than Katrina, as you have pointed out, or storms that are more intense, but hopefully what we never see again is the amount of human suffering that we saw after that storm. And just thinking about the images after Katrina, still heartbreaking 16 years later. And so hopefully those are the things that we don't see or experience ever again, even as the storms get stronger and more intense and bigger, and they intensify more rapidly, it seems. But the human suffering is hopefully what we never see again.
Gina, the most important thing we can do is maintain those levees. And what's happening, the levees are sinking and the water level is rising. And if we do not maintain those levees, Katrina can happen again.
Yeah, and just like Fletcher said, Margaret and Gina, you know, systems have been upgraded since then. If there's any kind of hope or encouragement for folks at home, that the governor said this again and underscored the importance to note that the state is not the same state it was before. Procedures and policies, the coordination between agencies, and even the federal government's help and assistance, and the quick action and response from the Biden administration, and the help from officials to declare a state of emergency to free up assets and resources, and, you know, swift water rescue units and National Guard, and all the assistance that they're providing. I believe, like Fletcher said, I want to offer some hope for people at home to know that there is a strong and robust system of preparation in place since Katrina. The governor did say all of those systems will now be tested, and we'll see how it holds up on Sunday.
And certainly just a point of, I guess, personal privilege here at WDSU. We are so fortunate to have Margaret Orr with the amount of institutional knowledge she has about all of these storms. We have reporters, veteran reporters, our Travers and Fletcher, who have been here, who can, you know, really compare and talk about what those, you know, what those experiences were like and put them into context. And so, you know, we're so proud of our team who was here during Katrina, and they are still here on the ground giving you the latest on conditions as we wait for impacts for Hurricane Ida.
That's right, and that we understand what it's like, and we understand the viewers out there, and that we are all going through this together, and we will go through it and get over it together as well. Let's take a look at some conditions. Speaking of